Xeno, being a technology company and being a part of digital transformation, which is the one shift, that you are seeing in consumer expectations?
I think what the shift has, I think everybody has already spoken about it, right?
Yeah.
What I'm going to talk today about essentially is the roadblock in that particular shift which is happening, right?
Yeah.
And after multiple conversation which we had with multiple retailers, CXOs, and something which we have understood that there is still a segregation between online and offline. There is no segregation. Customers don't care about it, right? For me, if I am going to VMart and if I'm going to the store or if I'm going to the website, essentially is the same brand for me and I expect the same sort of experience which I'm going to the stores and having. And whether we like it or not, the change in this country is happening, and it's not happening now because of COVID. That change has been happening for the last 5 years, right? And the biggest factor for the change was an external factor, which was Jio's broadband giving that connectivity to tier 2, tier 3 cities, wherein there was a point when in India we had only 400 million internet users. After Jio's launch, we reached that number to 800 million. Now the question started coming in that we are a 1.3 billion population in this country. How do we get everybody on the internet? And the biggest problem was the smartphone was costing so expensive, they launched JioPhone, right? So in the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see everybody having a smartphone, having access to the internet, and they're going to go digital. Now, it is not a fight between offline and online, right? Offline serves its purpose, online is serving its own purpose. And we saw a similar trend in US. I am guaranteeing you, open up Google right now and see Amazon, Google stock, and see from 2008 onwards, you see a sharp spike coming in their stock value. The only reason for that was iPhone launched. The moment iPhone was launched, everybody had mobile phone in their hand, they had internet, and they knew that it was so bloody easy to buy things online. And India is gonna go through that transformation in the next 2 to 3 years, and that is a given fact. And we talk about valuation of these D2C companies. Of course, these are inflated. There is a bubble. Everybody knows that. US also went through that bubble burst. We may not go through it. We don't know. But in the last 7 months alone, there were $800 million invested in these companies, out of which 350 million was just invested in the apparel space, fashion and apparel. And this investment is gonna go up next year and the coming next year, only for one reason, that there is going to be a huge internet adoption happening in this country, wherein while sitting in Delhi, we'll be able to sell to a small town in Northeast, to down south, to down top, and to west. Everywhere we will be able to reach out to our consumer. And the question comes is, how do we innovate faster? The problem is we have lived in this world wherein we had a certain way of functioning, we had a certain style of thinking, we had certain technology stack which we're using. We were talking about the human resources practices, right? It suddenly completely has to change wherein we have to thinking about our people who are working with us. We have to define a higher purpose, right? So every element of the business, right? Be it your omni-channel experience, be it your HR practices, be it your operations at the storefront, everything has to evolve, and there is that fear of change or fear of failure. But what's happening is this evolution is happening much faster than the way we are taking our decisions right now. And Amitji also mentioned in the forum, right? Fortune 20 companies, and that's right. If you see Fortune 500 companies 10 years back, and now you will see a different name. These are Fortune 500 companies who are making billions of dollars, and their name vanished from that list. So we have to accept this change. There are external factors which are happening, which is going to be promoting this change. Only thing COVID has done is it has accelerated that particular change. No difference. We were already through that phase. Only difference which has happened is the change is happening much faster. So we need to innovate faster. We need to fail faster because there is no playbook. We have to write the playbook. Right? Nobody else is going to come and tell us these are the right set of decisions. We have to start taking those decisions and accept that there's going to be an investment, and that investment might fail, but that's going to give us learning. And in the next 2 to 3 years, brands which are able, brands, why? Technology companies also, any service provider, right? Who are able to change constantly, invest money, see the failures, learn from it, and evolve from it. Those are the companies which will grow really fast. But we have to accept that omni-change, that online, offline, the digital world, that change is happening and it's not in our control. There are external factors. There's a government push which is happening. There are companies which are investing millions and billions of dollars in getting the entire country onto the internet. So we have to be ready for that, right? So we have to shed that fear of change and fear of failure and accept that there's going to be failure from our decisions point onward, but those are learnings which will help us evolve. And that's the thought process I think all of us needs to have, and it's time right now that we need to implement those particular mindset.
Totally agree with you. Fear of failure, change faster, fail faster, innovate faster, and evolve faster.